Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. How are you? Can we talk about this backdrop? It's the aesthetic for me. Okay, why does like, if I just glance, why does it look like a graveyard? But anyway, it's like the tombstones. And happy Sunday morning to you. We've got chill piano jazz going on. And I realize, y'all, I have sat down to chat with you about these tools and about the eclipse and about cord cutting. And I don't have no coffee. I don't have no water. The what? I'm going to pause you guys for a second and grab my coffee. What was I thinking? Hold on, guys. All right, we're unpaused now. I said, hold on. So, these in our backdrop on my lovely altar space, these are cord cutting candles. These have been on my heart for a couple of weeks now. I really wanted a tool that I know that is common to be used, and excuse me, and I wanted something that was like in the aesthetic that I would make it. Right. So I'm really excited to share these with you later today. And these are, I'll show you more. They're charging and they're set up in a lovely space. And it kind of makes me laugh because I think about how some people have, and bless them in their studies, they have these grids and they're very beautiful and intricate. But I just kind of roll with it. And I don't know. I go with what I feel. So I've got the cord cutting oils here charging as well. And like I said, I'm just gonna let everything chill. And when I get ready to post these like officially later today, I'll kind of show you guys the sets and everything. So here's the thing. Like, if you tune in to any frequency astrologers, channelers, tarot readers, and all the such, this current of the guides, the ancestors, our higher self, this current, right, the collective energy, we're going to be shifting. Is it today? So yesterday, and I'll share a video, you guys, if you want to go and look at the video where I really just spent like an hour just going through talking about the astrology of October. But I started making these candles yesterday on the 22nd of 2022. And I explained in the other video why a lot of how these energies were important. But the 22222, the foundational energy, and that's 5 2s, that's your 10. So it was a cycle breaking, but also just a solid, sturdy new beginning of a foundation. So I started making these, started charging these, started. I do. I'll probably post that. Probably have already posted this, but I was kind of showing how I smudge. I have these chime bells that I use. I I sing, chant. I play music. I sing to the herbs, and kind of. I have this thing where I will like hum into the glass bottles and or the candles into the wax as it's melting and the herbs are going in. Lots of energy and intention poured into the tools. And then I have like singing bowls, and I will, these will get charged more with the singing bowls. And then, honestly, like I sit and just kind of put my hands over them and speak to them, meditate, calling on my ancestors and my guides with all the intention that I wish to put into these. But what I was going to say is if you tap into this collective energy, it's on a lot of different currents. What you're going to find is this energy of cutting cords. And I was having a conversation, and oh gosh, that is not the time to bump everything on the table. If you've ever had a reading from me, then you know, like I constantly bump the stand, and bless it. She was not designed to be graceful. Okay, she does a lot of things. Grace is not one of them. All right. So cord cutting. You know, I'm so tempted. I really just want to go back and still talk about, you know, Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius and talk about a lot of things from 2020, 2021, up until this point that have led us to really, 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 really understanding and releasing. Why do my hands look swollen? It's still early in the morning, guys. Ooh, the hands look puffy. Really releasing, transmuting, integrating things. And there's a lot that we've built up to a lot of huge cosmic energy, astrological energy. We have been going through Libra season, and in a lot of this energy, we talked about relationships. We talked about why the relationships that you choose to energetically contract with and let into your reality, let influence your thoughts, your perspective, your mental health, your spiritual health. All these things lead into body health, right? We've been going through a lot of movements, a lot of understanding, had a lot of planets in retrograde, a lot of reflecting and realigning. So a lot of these different things that have led us up to this point. Now we're going to go into Scorpio season on the 25th. Are we going into, I was going to say, are we going into Scorpio season today? Anyway, I don't even have a laptop out. I'm not by the computer. But I think it's important for us to understand. And this is really at the root of any ritual work, of any candle work, of any work that we do. The real alchemy that's happening is going to be in our mental space, in our spiritual, in our thought body, in our emotions. Excuse me. It's so important to understand because so many messages, a deep current of frequency is cutting cords and, you know, really, really, really letting go of things that are holding onto our coattails, that are pulling at our karma, at our wanting to evolve, kind of wanting to slide back in the back door, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard. There may be frequencies and currents of deception, frustration, you know, fear, anger. There's going to be these lower frequency energies because ultimately, at the deep root, at the heart of cutting a cord, right, is deciding after you've released to hold an energetic boundary. And that's really, really tough for people. Saturn going direct. Oh, now I'm mad that I don't have my chart with me, but y'all, we're going to ride with spirit. Saturn going direct too. That's your Lord of Karma. And we're going to go direct now with all the things that we've learned. And if you're called to this and you resonate with it, you're going to find that this is going to be elevation for you. And ideally, we want to continuously elevate in our frequency, evolve. That's the goal of the age of Aquarius. It is very hard for other people when we do this. And it causes almost like a tantrum ripple effect, you know, energetically in the ethers and people, it's like a screaming, kicking, it's like a tantrum in the background. So we're going to feel that energy. Because if you are working through a process of cutting energetic cords and then processing that on the deep, correct, like I said, soul alchemy level that you want to be doing, that you have to be doing, really, because if not, let's be real, what's going to happen is you're going to keep calling those things, those people, those relationships, the toxicity, the validation of your worth that comes from somewhere outside of yourself, the idea that there is a teacher, that there is a thing, that there is a lesson that exists where you need someone else to teach it. So, we could go on and on about that. But if you're really not doing the work within yourself to support something like a cord cutting, you will keep remanifesting, here on this classroom earth, right? You'll keep remanifesting the lesson until you understand it. And sometimes it's unfortunate because that can look like letting the child finally burn their hand on the stove, because your ancestors, your guides, your higher self, and these ways that these contracts, these certain fated things are set up. Yes, we do have free will. And again, that's another day, another video. Sometimes it's kind of like when you have a child, right? You know your child. And you're like, well, it's like I have a teenager. Let's say you have a teenager, you have a small child. You kind of know, well, the teenager's is not going to listen. They're only going to, you got to let them go. Or, the small child, they're going to have to burn their hands. I've told them 4 times. Sometimes it's hard, and we have to manifest a lesson until it really, really burns to understand the worth of protecting your hand, right? The worth of protecting your heart, the worth of how are you going to protect something you don't understand the value of, okay? So in these currents and these frequencies, we're going to be hearing going into Scorpio season. We have Venus doing movements with Scorpio. That is going to be tough for her, but it's going to be good. There's a lot of value in Venus with Scorpio because even though she's farthest from her home where she wants to be at Taurus, she learns a lot of lessons, diving down and kind of tangoing with the scorpion stinger, right? I would love to do a separate talk on Venus and Scorpio, sorry. But as we hear a lot of these messages about, people around you trying to come back into your energy field, it's deception, this is going to be a currency, because when we're doing the healing work and we are ready to use a tool, for example, like let's say a cord cutting candle, holding a cord cutting ritual. And this doesn't have to be in a romantic partnership. You may be wanting to cut cords with a toxic family member or a best friend who is not resonant. Take it as you will there. And sometimes on a deeper level, which is why I have individual candles here that aren't in pairs, is we have our cord cutting to do with things within ourselves. Sometimes you have to cut a cord of your older version of yourself that is maybe hanging on a little too tight, and you are ready to... me and my friend were having this conversation about shamanic work, where a big part of something dying and being released is that it is consumed by something and it returns back to the earth. So essentially we cut the cord, or we consume that old version of ourselves. That is transmutation. That's alchemy. That's integration. You went down the rabbit hole, you burned your hand on the stove finally hot enough, and then you understood that it's time for that part of yourself to die. You consume, and then you grow from that. So some people may be cord cutting, again, maybe an old, very angry, traumatized version of an inner child, or an old story, an old version of a story of themselves. And then sometimes if we feel the need, sorry guys, I had to pause you. Dang, I lost train of thought. Oh, yeah, so what I was saying is sometimes we may feel the need to do cord cutting, and this may be more on an energetic level. And I was explaining in a lot of these ancestral energy videos and these ancestral messages that were coming through, that sometimes we carry ancestral karma, generational wounds. We carry things, and this could be thousands of years of lineages back. This can be, sometimes we may have lingering cords from different cycles of our life, and our chakras, our meridians, our, our auras, whatever the case may be. So sometimes, and you may be doing your own cord cutting work to just do a general cleanse and release, of anything that may still be attached, and or anything that may still, try to reach out and be in your aura. Or sometimes you can kind of do a cord cutting work and then ask, that things be sealed and healed and cleared and filled with light, and all these. There's different things you can do. So there's different levels, layers. There's different styles and different reasons that we may be cutting cords, right? So I was having a conversation this morning, though, that when it comes to real deep rooted shadow work, soul alchemy, and I like to talk about that because, don't get it wrong, like, I love my gemstones, I love my candle, I love a tool, that I love a rich space that's inspiring you to do your work, to do your meditations, to write in your journals, to grab a gemstone, grab an oil. I love having things from my sister and my soul families. I love to have other people's energy that I think is beautiful and I resonate with, to grab when I need a little bit of extra help. I really love, an oil, a spray, a bracelet, a stone. If I'm going to go get in the bath, if I'm having a hard day, I really take that energy with me and I feel supported, or with the stoner, whatever it may be. I love this, by the way. I think this came from Leslie, but she said, rub me. I don't know. This is my big selenite sphere. She is so magical. But anyway, when it comes to the real alchemy, if we are not doing the work inside, you could burn 20 beautiful candles, my friends, my lovely, lovely souls. You could wear every bracelet, you could collect, but all of these things are just going to be collections. They're going to be rituals dead in the water if we don't do the self-work every day. And we were talking about this morning, is that it's likened to, if your health depends on it, in a dramatic way, you get up and you take the medicine and you have the routine every day. If you have to go to work and you're feeding your family and you need to make the disciplined choices, you have to do them. You do them every day. So the unfortunate thing is that sometimes we'll do a work, let's say like a cord cutting work, right? Okay, but we haven't burnt our hand on the stove, or maybe we have not repetitively, when I say burnt your hand on the stove, I mean maybe the hurt, the wound, the depth of it hasn't drawn us out enough, and it hasn't, and we haven't gnashed the teeth, and we didn't hit the rock bottom, or however you want to say that. Or sometimes it is that we have, and we're having a little bit of trouble creating a repetitive routine of, it's just like, Lizzie, you want to quit smoking, or you want to change some lifestyle habits. What is it, like up to 21 days? And you're literally creating new neuron pathways in your brain. And it takes repetition every single day to rewire. And spiritually and energetically, it's the same in your body. You're walking around like this little water body vessel, like you charge a little glass of water in the morning, or you do moon water. Is very similar. We have to recharge the vessel with new thoughts, with new affirmations, when we do the depth of work inside of ourselves, and then we layer it with richness of tools, with richness of beautiful elements, and we ping out into the energy field with the gemstones, with the oils that support the work we're doing. That's amazing. That is deeply, richly effective. I would say test me on it and tell me I'm wrong. However, you can't do it outside in. It's got to be that way. The work has to be rooted in that every day you get up. Let's say you are choosing, you've chosen to let's say, because this is going to be very common, but take it as you will. Let's say you either have a family member you were very close to, but they were toxic. You know they were hurting you. You were used. You were manipulated. You know this. This would be something you constantly, you're like, well, I'm going to do this and maybe they'll change. And, well, I'll try to just be there. Okay, especially codependent behaviors and all these different things we could talk about. You know that it's not good for you. Or let's say you had a love relationship and it had to end. And I'm seeing that being a very common theme since the summer because of a lot of the movements going on. But any relationship, we can have soulmates that were best friends. We can have, or I'm not even going to go into twin flames and stuff like that. But anyway, so let's say there's a toxic person they were hurting you, holding you down, riding on your coattails. You could not save them. You could not work their karma. You could not continue to allow your energy, your love, your heart, the purity of your spirit to be manipulated. You couldn't put the scales back on your eyes, right? Okay. So let's say this is a situation you're dealing with. Every single day, oh, there's a spider. There's a spider and you can't see it, but he's hanging out with us. Hi, spider. Yes. Okay, anyway, maybe that's for someone to check out, or they have a spider animal spirit that they work closely with, but spider vibes, chilling. You have to do the work every day. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not going to matter if you burn this candle a million times. It's like getting up and getting dressed. It's like getting up and taking the medicine you need to take for your body. You have recreate that routine that supports you spiritually, psychologically, and then also mentally, and then comes into your body. You have to do that. You have to do that work. The journaling, the shadow work, the triggers, the wounds, the healing, all that work has to be done, or else on the inside out, as within, so without. As above, so below, all these things, that the polarity of that is not going to matter how many candles you burn. And I love you, but it's not. The work has to be done, and that we constantly have to say mantras to ourselves. We constantly have to look. Now is in the present. Now is in the present. If the person's energy has been removed from your field, the friend, the family member, the ex love partner, whatever that situation looked like. We have to reinforce our mind with mantras. We need to be doing the deep work to heal ourselves, the mind, the emotions, the spiritual energy, the cleansing through the chakras. We need to be doing all this work. And so all of this is very supportive of doing something like cutting a cord, because these tools are highly charged and poured into. Each herb, each gemstone, every single little bit is well thought over, channeled and guided, and then poured in so much energy into the process of it. So yes, when you strike a candle like that, when you anoint yourself with an oil like that, whatever the case, it's going to be powerful. But then what I'm saying is, if you get up the next day and you look at that person on social media, or you're still allowing the person to text you, or whatever the case may be, right? Or you still have that person's items in your home, like, it's got to be a real commitment, or else we're just going to still have little rips and tears in our aura and places that these cords can still drain us and stuff. So it's just very important that we do the soul level alchemy work. Do you know what I mean? But with all that being said, I think that healthy cord cutting, and, calling upon our ancestors, our guides, the higher frequency beings, angels, animal spirit guides, whatever the case is that you resonate with. These candles were deeply charged, calling on Archangel Michael and the imagery of the blue flame sword. I also worked with Metatron and kind of like the Christ consciousness. It's kind of like this golden Merkaba looking grid that moves down the body. Archangel Raphael was called upon. You know, when I call upon Archangel Raphael, I think about like a caduceus and like an emerald green type flaming light. That's what I was taught. But the big energy that I wanted to anchor in was very powerful with Archangel Michael and the blue flame sword. You know, cutting the cords off of your auric bodies, off of your emotional bodies, just any cords. So I know that the tools, excuse me, will be powerful, but I love you guys, and I want you to understand, and I speak about this work because I do this work too for myself. I do have toxic family members. I do have mother wounds that I deal with that aren't healthy. I have come a long way, and my life cycle is a huge lesson was for me to learn to own my no, to set up energetic boundaries. And this is a practice I still have to do every single day. And I'll tell you, sometimes we kind of tell ourselves in our minds, well, I'm empathetic, and I care and I just want to help. Okay, and I understand that, but we need energetic boundaries. We need to, once we do the cord cutting work, we no longer need to entertain the energy, period. I just felt really pressed to express that message. So I look forward so much to sharing these tools with you. I would really, really encourage you, if you haven't been able to watch the video that I shared, I think it was like October 20th is the date for that video. And I'll share it in another link when I post this video. But it's really important that we understand the depth of the work that we're doing and the patterns that set up our daily life that support the alchemy from the inside out. So I love you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. I'm very excited to share these tools, and I know that they are going to do a good work in the Scorpio season. And again, we kind of have to prepare ourselves, because when we put up energetic boundaries and we become very serious about it, it is kind of a whiplash, and it is the polarity of lower frequency, higher frequency. There's we would not know the richness of the light without the depth of the darkness, and there are these things at play always. We cannot control everyone's actions. We control how we choose to respond, how we choose our thoughts. Perspective shaping every single day is such a huge part of the alchemy as well. We were also having a conversation this morning talking about what you choose to focus on every day is so huge. Don't, looking at that picture one time. Why did you save? I'm hearing Spirit saying, why did you save the text? Don't reread it. Why do you still have that in your home? You've got to bury it, discard it, go and return it to the earth. We have to, what are we choosing to perceive? That is an energetic contract. And also what you focus on more and more every day, you begin to call in that frequency of your life. You've got to be careful what you're focusing on every single day, because that becomes what you align with. It's like bing. I'm seeing like a tuning fork. So you've got to tune yourself. I was listening to Abraham Hicks yesterday, because I'm telling you, I have to do this work too. Hello, we are in the same club. Gang. Okay, gang. We're in the same club. I was listening to Abraham Hicks, and it was this idea. Another thing we were talking about this morning is like tuning a radio frequency. And what happens too is this is your perception, your focus, your mental training. Okay, the more you train and tune yourself, what you'll realize will happen is that your frequency will be on channel 27, but their frequency is going to be like way down on channel 2. Okay, there's going to be no way that they can even really reach you, and it's not, you think somebody on channel 27 up here is going to care about energetic backlash and tantrums happening all the way down on 2? They're not, because they're elevating and they're on a completely different frequency. And then they're going to notice that they don't have to worry about their paths crossing. They don't have to worry about, well, what if this happens, or what if they say that to me? Don't dwell on that. That's that whole reverse manifestation idea too. If you're constantly living in that fear-based thought, you're trying to do a work, let's say like cord cutting, but you're living in the fear-based thought and you're worried and you're going through all these scenarios. You are you're tuning your channel to be more of a match to and then don't be surprised if you have paths that cross and drama that happens. Now, I'm not saying, okay, I'm saying things still do happen and, sometimes drama still crops up in life, but it's crazy. And again, test me on this. The more you tune yourself onwards and upwards, it's not even going to be a resonant match. The universe is going to begin sending you stuff that belongs to the tuning and the ping of the signal of channel 27 up here. You're going to be up on and out. You're going to be, wow, and this happened in my day, and then this happened, you'll notice. And you're worthy, trust me, of that frequency. If you do that work every day, I guarantee you'll see that as well. So, make sure when you choose a tool, like a very serious cord cutting tool, that you're really ready to use it and do the work. It's not just lighting a candle and then you're just like, golly, the very next week, okay. But that's like trying to buy like a fancy dancy protein shake and get all these meal kits and you're just like, boom, I drank them for 2 weeks. What the heck? Like, why did I gain all the weight back a month later? Okay, but what were your daily habitual routines? What did you focus on? These are all important works that you have to do after you do something like use a tool or use a candle. Do you know what I'm saying? Protect your perspective. You choose your thoughts that anchor in the frequencies every single day to support the works that you're doing with certain tools. Protect your boundaries. Own your no. All of these things, you know what they're rooted in? Okay, and this trails into Venus and Scorpio. They're rooted into knowing your worth better. Did this toxic, karmic, maybe triggering type of cycles that you had to go through with this person, this family member, this friend, this partner, this romantic whatever it was? Come on. They did not treat you well and you know it. You didn't deserve to be lied to and you know it. You don't deserve manipulation and you know it. And we're not going to do this I'm sorry, just talking here, okay? Maybe spirit channeling, but we're not going to do this thing anymore, whether we burn a candle or we don't. We take all the salt baths, we do all that or we don't. We're not going to do this thing anymore where we say, well, I'm going to help them heal. I'm going to change them. Sometimes we are placed in certain soul-fated contractual interactions with people, and we do what we do at the time. And, they choose. Do they want to elevate or they don't? That doesn't mean that we're bound to help them work out their karma. That doesn't mean that we should, thrash ourselves every day because we couldn't save them. That's not the work I'm a light where I should have been able to. No, that's not. If you need help with that, I'm glad to do a reading for you. I'm glad to spend some time with you. Please get in touch with me. We need to shift that seed, that root out of you. We need to do some shadow work on that. We come with a beautiful cup. We offer. How is it received? Do they choose to do the work? Do they want to receive the beauty that is you? How were you treated? So stop. Don't look back on that person. Don't look back and think, oh, I could have what. No, we're not doing that, because don't even burn a candle. There's no point. You're going to keep nurturing that cord with your energy and it's going to stay alive. Okay, so we're going to shift. We're going to elevate. We're going to transmute. This is the work that we're doing. Venus is going to be, again, in Scorpio, is going to teach us a lot of work, a lot of things about shadow around our self-worth. And it's just time to let some of these things go. And I love and appreciate you guys so much. And I do look forward to sharing these special tools with you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday.